Welcome back to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba, co-host here. Andrew Kernan, American Property Guard CEO. Our guest this segment, James Ross of HedgeChatter. Andrew, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Michael.
All right. Please, James, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Michael.
I'm going to have Andrew introduce you. As you can tell, my voice is a little failing with me.
Hi, James.
Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Good. Look, briefly, James Ross has spent the last 15 years disrupting legacy technologies and developing cutting-edge technologies such as wireless, international VoIP, and a host of other progressive technology. His core focus for the past 6 years has been to disrupt traditional investment indicators as the CEO of HedgeChatter. James, can you tell us, why do retail investors and day traders have a difficult time generating lasting profits?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, when you think about it, trading in the markets is a zero-sum game. So you've got someone executing either a buy and someone on the other side of that executing a sell. So someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. And over a period of time, it really boils down to information. So if you don't have the right information at the right time, or you're listening to other information that appears to be right, but maybe is missing one or two or three components, you could end up finding yourself on a losing trade. And so, you know, over a first couple of weeks, first couple of months, a retail investor can end up doing good, especially if the market in and of itself is doing good. But, you know, kind of the challenge is, how do you foresee those events, or how do you foresee the events of a company that are about to unfold before the news breaks the information?
Yes, after the fact, it usually doesn't help. What? Now, I understand you guys use social and big data to become the next indicators for the markets. How can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, definitely. I mean, you know, when you think about it, you know, traditional investing, even day trading, retail investors, however you want to, you know, whatever category you want to fall into, if you look at it, you know, it's primarily been fundamental information or technical indicators. So, you know, technical indicators will show you the volumes of what's either being bought and sold, or what's basically, you know, in level 2, level 3, what's about to be bought or sold. The challenge is it doesn't address the question as to why it's about to be bought or sold. And then when you look at, you know, fundamental indicators, you know, you've got, you know, good earnings per share, you've got a strong management team, rapid expansion of the business. But the challenge is neither one of those paint a complete picture anymore due to social, because social is basically like news. So if you think about it, you know, back in the day, you know, you've got news reporters that are breaking the stories, but now the news is actually getting its information from social media and then breaking that out. So if you think about, you know, one example I always like to bring up is this one particular company. Its stock was a couple years ago, $77 per share. Doing really good. Management team was solid. Store expansion was solid. Everything was rocking and rolling. And then the CEO came out and said, hey, we don't want large women wearing our yoga pants anymore. And that company was Lululemon. And their stock dropped from $77 to $44 in about the span of 3 days. So could you have seen that with fundamentals? No. Could you have seen that with technicals? No. With social, however, we were able to pick up a disturbance before that actually took effect.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Now, you also used the term big data. Just real quickly, for our listeners, big data can mean different things to different people. Can you talk just very briefly what big data means to you and how that's used in your determining the markets?
Oh, exactly. I mean, again, that's another great question. You know, for us, big data is basically the ability to understand a lot of conversations that are taking place. So if people are saying buy and sell in the market is over the next 24, 48, 72, 96 hours, and so on and so forth, are they getting it right? Are they getting it wrong? So on a daily basis at HedgeChatter, we process about 4.6 million financial chat messages in real time. So we're constantly calculating when someone's saying buy or sell, was there an uptick or downtick? And then with that information, we're able to understand when a lot of people are moving into a security, and that's really before they've actually executed the trade. So in essence, what we've done is we've kind of created this third indicator, social, which gives us the ability to measure intent as a tool.
Wow. Phenomenal technology. I know you guys opened on the London Stock Exchange not once but twice. How did that happen?
Well, it's kind of interesting. We were invited because the London government was looking for, basically cutting, leading, bleeding edge technology companies to come over and basically experience London, work with a lot of their big firms to talk about the technologies we're doing. And so whether it was, just banking transactions and or the market, they're, highly concerned because, a lot of people know it's kind of the unspoken truth is, London and New York are both competing constantly to see who can be the number one financial center in the world. And so they invited us over and we walked them through that, walked a lot of the major firms through that, and they were just really taken back because they had heard, there was rumors years ago that social could eventually be used to predict what's going to happen, and we were able to show them how. And, basically we broke it down for them pretty simple. It's kind of like, if you have the ability to listen into people's conversations, and then what they're saying, they then follow up and do, and then the positive outcome happens, and you're able to basically quantify that and classify it, you've got a pretty significant tool to understand what's going to happen in the marketplace.
Wow. Can you, and so how does HedgeChatter use that to help traders generate profits, and can you give a few examples of that?
Definitely. So, if you think about it, right now, again, the 4.6 plus million financial chat messages are taking place. And what we do is we look at all the stocks on the NASDAQ, New York Exchange, and American Exchange. So basically on a given day, we're monitoring 8,000 ticker symbols. And so what we're able to do is understand when people are starting to move into a particular security or something is breaking or they have found out it's going to break, and then they basically retweet this or resend this out on social media, and it basically creates a buzz if you think about it. You've got this undertow of people that are all talking about, hey, this is going to be the next hot stock. And what we're doing is we're tracking when have they said that in the past and how often did they say it, but more importantly, how often were they right? And from that, we actually generate alerts. So we can have an upside momentum alert that says, hey, there's a significant amount of people that are moving into this. We can have a sentiment or a chatter alert saying, hey, suddenly everybody's talking about this stock. And likewise, we also have a downside risk indicator that says, what people are extremely worried about this particular stock, it looks like it's going to tank. And, 9 times out of 10, when we get a red downside risk alert, we can watch that security lose anywhere from 5 to 10% over the next 1 to 2 weeks. So it really helps not just with trading, but with risk mitigation for your portfolio.
Wow, that's very powerful. I understand you're the only platform with a manipulation indicator. What does it do, and how did that make it better trades?
Well, what we found is that you can have a lot of people having a lot of conversations, but you've got to realize, are those real people? So, if you roll the clock back and you think 20 years ago you had boiler rooms, then 10 years ago you had people that were hiring bloggers in India to, either run a stock up or run a stock down. Today, for about $50, you can actually buy a software that'll go create 1,000 Twitter usernames or 1,000 Seeking Alpha accounts and go push information that's trying to sway people one way or the other. When you think about it, trading is really comes down to psychology, and I think, Trump has obviously made people very, very, very aware of that with tweeting. We talked about Boeing, and we're going to get that F-35. We're going to get those costs down. I mean, what happened to the stock? You're talking within 15 or 20 minutes, the stock came down 5 to 6%. So, we're basically looking at that. But what we also want to do is see how many of those messages are made up of manipulation. So we all know there's fake news. We all know there's fake social. So what we're doing is identifying which of these groups are actually creating this and then trying to run a stock up or down. I mean, I can give you some quick examples. I mean, we had, for instance, and we're not just talking, small cap, we're talking mid and large cap as well. Like, for instance, Shopify, we noticed on Tuesday, August 1st, it had closed at $104. Well, before it had closed, we had noticed at the previous day, its manipulation indicator was throttling about 20 to 30%, which is normal. What's not normal is when it hits this 59 to 60% manipulation. And what that tells us is someone is out there retweeting, reposting, and they're doing it with bots, computer bots that are auto-posting this out. And they're trying to create, something to happen. So Tuesday, Shopify closed down.
I hate to cut you off. We could keep going on this one, and I'll have you back to do that, but we're out of time. I want to thank you for being the guest on the show.
Perfect. Thank you guys very much. And if you want to learn more about us, you can visit WFN.com or WFN1.com, and you've got a link to get a special offer that we've included for the listeners.
Perfect. James Ross, HedgeChatter, HedgeChatter.com. You can also find him on the homepage of our website, WFN1.com. All right, we'll be right back on the other side of this message with Greg Wolf, co-founder, Wolfline. You've been listening to CEO Money with Michael Yorba and Andrew Kernan.